Shalom, giving our praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Raha, Chodash. Honors be to the elect elders of the nation of Israel that do labor and teach the truth and sincerity. Shalom to you, Akim, you hopeful elect on the highway and hedges, making your body a living sacrifice, according to Romans 12 and verse 1. Shalom to sincere believers as well, which consist of men and women. Shalom, Brakatham, and as always, Babal. This is your brother Zakar Aban coming back with another video. This will be going into don't let the bitterness blindside you, meaning don't let, being in America, which is known in the Bible as Babylon, confusion, pretty much weigh you down. Okay, because we understand that we are waiting for the coming of Yahweh Shai. All right, and within doing that, we got to be amongst all types of wickedness, all types of evil. So it's a continual fight. As scripture says, fight a good fight on faith. So let's start in the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 12, make a quick point. Right, and this is in red lettering, so this is Yahweh Shai speaking. And it reads, Matthew 24, verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. All right, and we don't want to be in that mindset of becoming cold to one another. Okay, we want to always deal with each other, especially the household of faith, with love, man. It says love the brotherhood. Okay, for the most part, as scripture says, we're going to live in peace with all men, but especially them that are of the household of faith. Right, it says sin will be rampant everywhere and the love of many will grow cold. Okay, because once again, iniquity, evil, wickedness is pretty much at the forefront. Right, folly is set in great dignity. Okay, so let's go to the book of James chapter 3 and let's start at verse 14. All right, because that still applies to us as well. All right, as far as saying the love of men shall wax cold. We still in this flesh, we still in these bodies that are pretty much subject to do whatever, subject to go off. So this is once again a continual fight. James 3 and verse 14. And it says, but if you have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie not against the truth in NLT. But if you are bitterly jealous and there is selfish ambition in your heart, don't cover up the truth with boasting and lying. And real fast, this James is, Yahweh Shai brother. Just make that quick point. But if you are bitterly jealous and there is selfish ambition in your heart, don't cover up the truth with boasting and lying. Okay, this wisdom descended not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. Right? So it comes from what? The world. It comes from, these mortal bodies, once again, that are subject to go off. It comes from, dealing with the philosophies and being too much a part of the world, man. As I just described in the book of Matthew 24 and verse 12, it says, for iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So once again, we got to continue to fight, all right? Fight the good fight of faith. It says, for where envy and strife is, there is confusion in every evil work. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, and without partiality and without hypocrisy. When we go to the word hypocrisy, just in the regular definition, right? When we look it up, it just goes into acting or being an actor. So we don't want to portray that we are humble or whatever. This is a lifestyle. We don't want to act like we're just humble, right? As they say in the world, faking the funk. Okay, this is what we are. This is what we do on a day in and day out basis, right? Not being hypocrites. Okay, and the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace. All right, them that are putting forth good fruit. All right, the good fruit is doing the things that is pleasing to Yahweh or Yahweh Shai. Just to sum it up. So once again, we don't want to let the bitterness of being in captivity blind us, right? Because this is a very bitter captivity. Okay, but we'll keep our eyes single according to Matthew 6 and verse 22. Right, as a matter of fact, let's grab that real swift. It just comes to mind. Matthew 6 and verse 22. Make a quick point. Red lettering, Yahweh Shai speaking. It says the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. Right? Keeping your eye on a prize, keep your eye on the kingdom, keeping your eye on, the task at hand, doing the things that's pleasing to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. All right. And then, whatsoever you desire shall be shall be given to you. Right. Not on this side, because this kingdom is done, is finished, is ruined. Okay. It's destroyed. But now we're waiting for what? For something so great, right? Which is the kingdom of Yahweh Shai and the joint heirs. Okay, so let's go to the book of 1 Peter, grab a few, and then that'd be pretty much it. 1 Peter 2 and verse 16. This is, and it says, as free and not using your liberty for a cloak of maliciousness, but as the servants of Adonai Yahweh. Honor all men, love the brotherhood, fear Adonai Yahweh, honor the king. All right, matter of fact, let's start at verse 15, right? Because I'm making a point as far as saying, putting forth good fruit, which is doing the things that's pleasing to Yahweh Shem Shai. So let's put it a little bit more in context. 1 Peter 2 and 15, for so is the will of Adonai Yahweh, that with well doing you may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men. That's showing a pattern of good works. Okay, when you're doing the things that's pleasing to Yahweh Shem Shai, regardless how someone feels about you, there's really nothing that they can say. Okay. As free and not, let's read in NLT, for you are free, yet you are Adonai Yahweh slaves. So don't use your freedom as an excuse to do evil. And we understand that, being free starts off with the mind first. John 8 and 32, the truth shall make you free. Okay. Verse 17, respect everyone and love your, as it says right here, Christian brothers and sisters, fear Adonai Yahweh and respect the king. Okay. And, this word Christian, really just the ones that are following the anointed. And the anointed is Yahweh Shai. And the only one that's doing that are the Israelites. Okay. And when you go to the book of Acts chapter 11, said that the Jews was called Christians first. All right. So the true followers of Yahweh Shai is the Israelites. All right. So don't let that word throw you off. So, but it says respect everyone and love your, right here is the Christian brothers, which is the ones, the true followers of Yahweh Shai, the true followers of the anointed, brothers and sisters, for Adonai Yahweh and respect the king. So that's what's commanded of us. All right. So once again, don't let, bitterness, blindside the task at hand. All right. So let's close this up and let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon 8 and verse 16. That'd be pretty much it. It says, after I am come into mine house, I will repose myself with her. And it's her talking about wisdom, which is also called Sophia. For her conversation have no bitterness, and to live with her have no sorrow, but mirth and joy. So if you are always stayed upon wisdom, right, which is called, everlasting water, you are, in a good way. You're in good shape. Now we understand once again that this kingdom is, vexing and bitter, right? But we are not in a depressed mind state. Okay, we have hope that a lot of people just don't have, and also a lot of believers that have maybe been, in a circumcision, right? Because they eventually, withered away, and they let that bitterness just pretty much, ruin them. So once again, after I come into my house, I will repose myself with her. For a conversation have no bitterness, and to live with her have no sorrow, but mirth and joy. Now when I consider these things in myself and pondered them in my heart, how that to be allied unto wisdom is immortality. All right. So that's pretty much a believer that is trusting in the wisdom of Yahweh B'Shem Shai. As it says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times. Okay. And this word ponder just pretty much meaning what meditate, think upon. And great pleasure is to have her friendship, and in the works of her hands are infinite riches, and in the exercise of her conference with her prudence, and in talking with her a good report. I went about seeking how to take her to me, for I was a witty child and had a good spirit. Yet rather being good, I came into a body undefiled. Nevertheless, when I perceived that I could not otherwise obtain her, except Adonai Yahweh gave her me, and that was a point of wisdom also to know whose gift she was, I prayed unto the Adonai and besought him, and with my whole body heart I said. So, pretty much this is, Solomon praying for wisdom. Okay. And we understand that the scriptures that were written 4 times written for our learning. But the point is, having this wisdom it doesn't come with what? Bitterness. They say for a conversation have no bitterness, because ultimately it's going to lead to what? It's going to lead to, you know, the great reward. Now, on the flip side of it, you know, the more we grow in the truth, you know, the bitter, you know, we do become, because we are aware that this is not how we're supposed to be living, right? But we're not, you know, depressed. We're not always in a, you know, angry state. Once again, we have that hope. So, matter of fact, let me grab this real quick and make a quick point, because I said it, so I want to bring it out. See. Yep. Let's see if I can grab this real swift. Right to Zach, I find it. I haven't brought it out in a minute. Ecclesiastes 1 in verse, 18. Let's start at verse 17. And I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this also is vexation of spirit, for in much wisdom is much grief. And he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. Right? Because why? Because ultimately we have this wisdom and knowledge. Once again, this is a continual fight. But we have this wisdom and knowledge. You know, we understand that this is not how we supposed to be living. As far as having this, you know, wicked rulership, continually working for, you know, your enemies, continue being put down upon, you know, laughed upon, right? But we are not in that depressed mindset. Okay, we're not gonna let, you know, the bitterness of this kingdom pretty much blindside us for the task at hand, right? So for much wisdom is much grief, and he that increases in knowledge increases in sorrow. So once again, you know, the more you increase in knowledge, the more you continue, you know, to grow, the more you see how things is really, you know, vanity, is for nothing, is wicked, right? But we also have that mindset of the task is not finished yet, okay? And not, once again, not letting this bitter captivity pretty much blindside us from, you know, the kingdom and that great reward. So that's pretty much it. In it there, I'm gonna give all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahah, Hudash. Honors be to the elect elders of the nation of Israel that do labor and teach the truth and sincerity. Shalom to all you Akim that make their body a living sacrifice on the highway and hedges. Shalom to sincere believers, which consist of men and women. Shalom, Brakatham, and Abba. Shalom.